is getting slammed. The first day, I think I got 2 hours sleep that night because it just was such an overwhelming reaction. And I knew that people watched us, and I knew that people, they liked me. Yeah. But boy, I feel so loved. I told my husband I should have done this before.
It's like Donna. I always would think about what Sally Fields said when she won the Oscar. You like me. You really, really like me. And so and you're all right because you think about I care for my listeners, and you think when something happens, they're there for you, and then when something like that, you have people who really like you and love you.
Well, and being part of the media, when things happen, when tragic things happen, we do the story. And one thing that I always loved about being at Channel 5 is that the community would always respond. Honey, do you think they haven't responded for me? They have lifted me up. And it just makes me so happy. And so people say to me, well, you sure do look good. Yeah. I said, well, you know what? I feel good. Right. Because I'm blessed. And so I know that that God has something in store for me. Sure. But right now, I just am so overwhelmed by all of the support.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I say to you, Donna, you did the right thing. Hey, girl, put your makeup on, go on out and do what you have to do. That's right. Because this too will pass.
That's right. And I'm going to be at Bev Johnson's grown folks party.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And I want to see you there, you and your hubby. So, for people who are listening around the world, and Donna, you a little bit about Donna Davis and where you began before we get into all this other stuff. So people know a little bit about you.
Well, it started in radio, so this is really appropriate. I went to grew up in Jackson, Tennessee, so a lot of people, it amazes me, they still don't know that, I was a local girl. I'm just a hometown girl who had a crazy idea. My daddy said, baby girl, be a teacher. And I said, well, man, being a teacher's nice, but I want to be on TV. And he's like, why you got to have all these highfalutin dreams, But I'll support you. So I grew up in Jackson, and my dad was in Alamo, and they supported me. Went to the University of Memphis, and
so Jackson, Tennessee is home.
Jackson, Tennessee is home.
Wow.
I got to say hey to my family in Jackson.
That's right.
Half the town is related to my family. The Davises there. But went to the University of Memphis. Graduated, got a lot of ties here, and loved it here. Didn't want to leave. So. I got my first job actually in radio at Channel 5, at WMC Radio, doing news and talk. And I'll never forget one night I decided, I'm going to do this TV thing. And so I had made some friends in the TV side, and I went to this guy he was my studio floor person. His name's Shadow. I said, Shadow, I want to be on TV. Can you help me? He said, baby girl, I got you. This is what we're going to do. We went after a newscast one night, and I picked Joe Birch's scripts up out of the garbage can. Wow. And I read those scripts and made a tape and got my first job in TV off of that tape. So I left here and went to Fresno, went to Cleveland for 3 years, and in 2000, when Kim Hendry left, my agent said, hey, there's a station in Memphis. You may know a little about them, WMC. I said, send a tape. Right now, we need to get on that. And it just, it just fell together. I came here, and I knew as soon as I got here that, it was falling together. The chemistry was there. I was back at home, where I started out with all my old friends at the station. And I got the job. I started in December. And so I've been doing the weeknight anchoring since December of 2000, 8 years, almost to the day.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
That's a good story.
It's the best job I've ever had.
Really?
It is. I mean, these are not just my coworkers. These people are my family. And the things that I've gotten to do here, Bev, come on. I made bread pudding for Oprah. Well, my aunt made it, but I took it, I unwrapped it, and I presented her with it, and she ate it, and she enjoyed it.
And she ate it, too.
She enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And,
because you got to meet a lot of people and do a lot of things.
And it was exciting. I covered Coretta Scott King's funeral. Yeah. Oh, what an honor. A viewer wrote me an email today and said, Donna, I miss you. I'll never forget the interview you did with Aaron Neville. And I interviewed him 8 months to the day after he had buried his wife. He was coming here to perform, and he was heartbroken. And he opened up and bared that to me. And, there's something about telling people stories and people trusting you, and you know this. Yes. That is so very special. I was on the anchor desk through 9/11, you know. When we had the tornadoes here in February at my hometown of Jackson, Tennessee, people were wondering, if they were going to live, because we knew these tornadoes were on the ground. And then we heard that Union had collapsed, Union University. So I feel like that I've guided people through some of these rough times. And it was always my mission to, as grim as the news may be, maybe I can just make it a little easier to take. And in between, maybe we can have a little fun, you know?
Yeah.
And there's not one day that Joe Birch and I did not laugh together. He calls me his TV wife.
Yeah, you know, that's how I call him my boyfriend.
Yes.
That's my boyfriend.
He's got many women.
I know he does.
And most of them are sisters.
I know.
Joe, I think you have a thing for black women.
Yeah.
But I'm his TV wife. We had a lot of fun. We really did.
Yeah. I know that probably just... And I know, and then when we talked, and Donna said, you know, it took you after you all were given the news, and it was what, about 15 you all?
Yeah, it was 3 of us on the air and 12 behind the scenes personnel.
Yeah, that it said it took you almost 3 hours to leave the station.
Oh my goodness!
That, you know what? But and when I heard you say that, and I thought about that they didn't try to urge you out, okay,
no,
you're gone, you know, and a lot of times you have businesses, okay, we let you go, and they try to get you out like you're going to kill somebody or something, you know. I know people get angry, but they, you know, they gave you a time to say goodbye to your coworkers.
They were gracious. Let me tell you how it went down.
Okay.
I've not told anybody this publicly. So
I got exclusive,
yes.
Donna Davis.
That's right.
Okay.
Here's what happened, and I wanted to share this with you. I got to work that afternoon, about 2 o'clock, and of course when I got in, I knew that they had already let Bill Lunn go and that other people had been laid off, and so I went to our afternoon editorial meeting, which is standard practice, and then I have a 3 o'clock meeting with a few other personnel that I attend on certain days. So I went into the dressing room after my 2 o'clock meeting to get ready for my 3 o'clock meeting, just to touch up my hair and makeup. And my news director came around the corner, and she said, "I need to talk to you." And I looked up, and I just looked at her because I knew that this was happening today. And I said, "Yes."